Oh, yeah, I got
Yes, I am.
fired for vaping. I vape, dude. That's my thing, bro.
You got fired for vaping?
Yeah, we were working for Red Zone, and they caught me vaping 1 year, and they were like, don't do it again. And then the next season, I came back, and it was in, like, preseason, so we were doing, like, our training or whatever, and I hit the vape, and the guy was like, you know, you can't vape in here. I go, oh, my God, I forgot. And then the lady just pulls me in, and she goes, if you vape again, we're going to have to let you go. And I go, done. I put it in my car. It's over. And then they fired me anyway. But I didn't. At that point, I wanted to watch games at home. I did.
Red Zone, Fox, know it, been there,
Done that.
did it, vaping. So we're on right now. Yeah. We're pre-podding. Okay, we are pre-podding right now. We'll start the show here. And we do have the dongle. So I could do sound effects. I could do sound effects theater. We could do echo chamber. We have the baseball card game. Let's see. Right now, we are pre-podding. Right now, I just dropped the dongle. You don't want to drop a dongle. That's something you do not want to do. And Eric picked up the dongle. Let me see. Hold on. Check this out real quick.
I didn't know that was the name of this. I didn't know that was actually called dongle.
Yeah, it's like a board game. Boggle, dongle.
That's what it's called? Yeah. God, you know, oh my God.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
It
Sorry
just-
about that.
It just
Sorry.
dongled in my headphones.
I apologize about that. I apologize about that. Let me just see here. Stay with me. I'm not a bad guy. Positive push. We got a great podcast today. I'm sober. I'm not on any pharmaceuticals. We're going on like 6 months now.
No weed?
I mean, I do that, but I've even cut back on. I'm talking about pharmaceuticals.
Okay, were you talking about like Wellbutrin and
Yeah.
Xannies and
Yeah.
uppers, downers, yellow jackets, black betties?
Oh, you know about that?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
No. No. Yes. No. Yes. No.
Yes. Hold on. Enjoy it. Brody? Jeremiah? Josh Adam? Hello?
Yeah, we're
Hello?
Are you
where
guys
are
here?
you? Yeah.
Hello?
We're in the forest. Is this a bog? Now we're out of the bog.
My favorites, I had the favorites sorted out on my phone, and
Do you have your app back up?
no, and I need to work on that.
Yeah, I loved your app.
I do need to work on that.
Yeah, that
Son
was
of
great.
a gun. I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went.
Tim Allen.
Is that what he does?
Like,
It sounds like the Cosby
Oh,
Show
that was
theme
the
song.
Cos-
Yeah.
That
I was like, what
Cosby
the fuck are
Home
you doing
Improvement.
right now? Shabba-labba-doo-doo.
I got to get going. Hold on.
wait, Brody, can you stay? You just got here.
Dude, I think you need some coolant in your car,
we're
bro.
doing
It's
a
not turning
pre-pod.
over,
It
man.
looks like it's not starting.
It's not starting,
Here,
so
let
you're
me-
not going nowhere.
Let me get out. Hold on. Oh, I'm back in. Now I'm out. Here, let me set the alarm. You got it. Here's my
Whoa.
bike.
Really, on a 1983 Toyota Corolla, I didn't realize you needed an alarm for that.
Oh, you know why? Because it's fast. I'm out of here.
Dude, he just left us here.
Man, I can't believe we're hosting Brody's podcast.
I mean, we
now.
are friends, and it's a festival.
Well, I guess we can continue on. Hey, do you think we can get Brody back in here? Though?
Yeah, I hear him driving up.
Yeah. Oh, he ditched his car.
You know what? He has gotten more environmentally friendly. I'm very proud of what he's
Going
doing.
green, yes. Staying positive, push with no carbon in the atmosphere.
Guys, look who's back. It's me, Stephen Brody Stevens.
It's so crazy. You bring that band everywhere you go.
It's my new GD comedy jam. I take it. This is a scary place. Burbank's scary. That was not a good sound.
No.
All right, so that's the thing. I don't have these things favored yet, really.
Well, you were killing it. I thought Michael Winslow was in here. I thought it was a little Police Academy action
Do you think it was,
going on.
You know,
Wait. You're not doing that with your mouth?
I know.
No. I'm doing this with my mouth.
There was a murder.
Here in Burbank. Slow down. All right, so that's the thing. The sound, it's not. I mean, I'm no Red Band on it. He's got it really.
You're
sorted
doing
out.
great with it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest.
Well, you guys are making it fun.
Well, I just having fun. Can I? Because we keep saying the word Burbank. Can I give Angelo Bauer's one of my favorite jokes by Angelo Bauers? He says, "I just ran the Burbank Marathon. There's no actual winner of the Burbank Marathon. You just run until you're tired of Burbank."
And that's probably like a 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burbank, and we'll talk about that. Burbank is interesting. I call Burbank the Redondo Beach of the San Fernando Valley,
How so? How so?
and I call Redondo Beach the Burbank of the South Bay.
Okay.
Just from doing enough audience warm-ups where people from Burbank are like stuck in a time warp. Oh, hold on. We're already in the sound effects
Wow,
theater.
we are inside of the show right now.
Hold on.
Inception.
Okay, so we're here with Josh Adam. We might and Jeremiah. We might roll right into this.
Oh, we're in the future, guys.
Welcome to the pre-pod with Josh Adam Myers, Jeremiah Watkins, and Brody Stevens.
We're all a bunch of squiggly Dans.
We're
Squiggly
already
Dans
in
and
the sound
Squiggly
effects
We are
Nose.
inside of the show right now.
Hold on.
Inception.
We're here
Inception.
with Josh Adam. We might.
Yes.
Hold on.
Welcome.
Oh no, there was a murder.
Wow.
In
Brody's
Brody.
back on
Brody,
a bike.
come back.
Come
I'm here.
back.
Come back.
Where
I'm here.
are
I don't
you?
want Josh and I to be hosting the show alone.
I'm in a vortex of pain.
inside of the show right now.
Hold on.
Inception.
We're here with Josh Adam. We might.
Yes.
You got it.
Oh no, there was a murder.
There was a murder.
Brody's back on a
Brody, come
bike.
back.
Grab the
I don't want Josh and I
dingle.
to be hosting the
What's
show
a
I'm in a
dongle?
vortex of pain. I'm in a vortex of pain. Grab the dingle.
Now watch. They'll pick up on their own. Watch.
You got it.
Just sit back and let the show happen. There was a murder.
Grab the dingle.
What's a dongle?
Grab the dingle. What's a dongle? Vortex of pain. Grab the dingle.
Now watch. They'll pick up on their own. Watch.
Grab the dingle.
Just sit back and let the show happen. Watch. Just sit back and let the show happen.
I'm having a bad acid trip right now, dude. It's like a flashback, bro.
That is a sampling right there of Echo Chamber.
That is a sampling of what my mind goes through every day.
All the characters that you do, that's why they're all talking to you. Jeremiah's literally living in Split.
Great film.
Great
I
fun.
loved it.
We and Jeremiah saw it together. You
Yeah.
want to know why? Because we're friends and we go to festivals.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you something about that. Let's roll right into this.
I thought we were rolling.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Oh no,
we're-
no. The
we're-
pre-pod was commencing, but we're leaving the pre-pod in the past, in the dust, and we're in
Regular
the
pod.
moment.
Yeah.
Regular.
But we've been recording pre-pods now.
Oh, okay.
That's a new thing for us.
No, a new feature, a
Is
bonus feature.
Recording pre-pods because some of the best moments happen in a pre-pod. Now you were mentioning we have Jeremiah Watkins. We all know Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have Josh Adam Myers.
That's me.
You got it. And we have Stephen, James, Brody, a lot of J's, Jeremiah, Josh, and James. J, 3J. You got it. Jimmy John's. We do fresh, or whatever they do.
I like Jimmy John's.
You like
it's
it?
not a bad sandwich. No, it's not bad. Like
Free smells.
I'm
it's-
more of
yeah,
a
it's-
Jersey Mike guy myself.
I'm a New Jersey Michaels guy.
Oh, okay.
I go to Jersey Mike's. I get it Mike's way, and
I get a Mike's Way, no onions.
no onions.
What is Mike's Way?
Vinegar and oil, lettuce, pickles, onions, the meat, tomatoes. It's almost everything.
That
on it.
sounds fantastic.
It's really good.
It really does.
I just
sound
do
good.
lettuce. I do oil and vinegar. I don't do full Mike's way, but I like Jersey Mike's. They do a good job. They better. I think they're better customer service than Subway. Subway morale is down.
I will
It
put
is
Jersey
down.
Mike's on blast for a second. The last time
here
I
we
was
go.
in
Hit
there,
me, dude.
okay?
He's been talking about this for weeks.
All right. Last time I was in there, I bought a sandwich that was almost $10. It was like a big sandwich.
weighty.
there.
Which for Jeremiah, that's a lot of money on
That's
food.
expensive.
That's
for food.
expensive
I'm
for
a
him.
very cheap
He's-
guy whenever I eat food. Okay, so whenever I was eating that, I asked for a cup of water. Okay, because I already had spent the money. It's not like I'm just this homeless guy coming off the street asking for a cup.
Yeah.
They would not give me a soda cup for the water because they were out of water cups. And I was like, "Well, what are we gonna do here? I just I just want to get water."
They're out of the plastic.
They're out of the
mini
little
water
plastic ones.
cups.
I was like, can I just have? You can watch me put water in the soda cup, and they're like, we can give you the bowl that we put soup in.
Oh,
So I'm drinking like a little dog out of this little soup bowl, my water, while I just had spent money on the sandwich.
But
Do you
also,
think that's fair? As a
you didn't
customer?
have to drink it like this, like. You could have just glugged it.
so
but
they
you're-
wouldn't give you.
They wouldn't just
the
give
small
me
cup.
a small
A
cup.
lot of places don't do that though. A lot of places
But
won't give.
here's my problem though.
Yeah.
What's the cost difference between a full soup cup and like a soda cup? It's got to be very similar. That's my thing. They're still giving you the product.
Are you able to fill your own drinks?
Yeah.
All right, I think they probably thought you would probably fill it up with soda.
Yeah, I said, look, you can watch me, and it was dead in there too. It wasn't like there's a line. I could have literally looked them in the eyes as I pushed the water button into the soda cup.
Yeah, I wonder why they did that.
It was very strange.
It's like a nickel. I remember, like I've tried to get
It's
drink
so
cups,
low
and they're like,
cost.
I was like, listen, I just want the cup for water, and they're like, that's 25 cents. I'm like, fine, just charge me 25 cents for the cup. I don't want soda. I don't want anything like that.
Right, stay out
And
of the
most of
soda.
the people, they'll give it to you. I feel like you probably got an employee pissed off and just didn't want to mess
Yeah,
with you. I don't
yeah.
think it had anything to do with like policy. He just was like, screw this guy.
I'm gonna
He's-
give him a soup cup.
Yeah, it's he wanted to feel better than you and feel like he had that power.
Well, guess what? He was better than me. I was drinking the water like a dog, Brody.
Lapping
Slurp,
it up.
Slurp, slurp. It was embarrassing.
And now they're put on blast.
Yep.
You could have, what does it cost? It cost a customer.
Cost a customer
cost
because
a
we're not
customer.
going there. We're going to
No,
Quiznos
I,
now.
I really like their sandwiches, so I'll go back. So I will accept coupons.
You know what?
fuck
Is it coupons or coupons?
Why, you never-
Coupons. It's
yeah,
coupon.
yeah.
I mean, it could go coupon. I never
I have
heard
a
of
coupon.
Would you just call it a coupon?
You've never gotten a coupon before?
I do not call it that. No, that's
Everybody calls it a coupon.
No, it's.
Is it Cuban or Cuban?
It's a,
I've been to Cuba or Cuba.
yeah.
I think it's. I
Warren
think it's.
Cubs.
I think it's coupon.
Dude, my favorite cigars are Cuban cigars.
Yes, that's right. Not.
Yeah, Cuban cigars.
I'm going to pay with a coupon.
I'm going to pay with a coupon. I smoke Cubans.
Now I go to I do go
And
to
I go
Jersey Mike's.
scuba diving.
There you go.
It's pronounced scubba.
Scuba. Scuba dubba.
Scuba
diving.
diving.
Scuba. That's what that stands
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
for. You got it.
Yeah.
Yes, we are doing trivia
Whoa.
here
I
on the
know,
Stephen
dude.
Brody Stevens
I-
Festival of
it's-
Friendship with Josh Adam Myers.
I know.
He knows that sort of thing.
Probably would have never guessed that I knew that, but I do. It's
No.
It's like, you know.
You're that weird apples to apples guy.
I just
who's
know a
like,
bunch of random
I know it's
facts."
the funniest random things to put together.
Yeah.
I mean, people knew that one,
Yeah,
right?
self-contained
That's a common-
underwater breathing apparatus. Come on, dude.
That's a common
Where's
one.
the W?
For the
Water.
You got
Underwater is one word.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, underwater.
There you go. We're learning. We're learning all the
right.
time. I just want to talk about Jersey Mike's because
me, dude.
I do go to Jersey Mike's. I go to Jersey Mike's. I go to Subway.
Yep.
You know what's a good sandwich? There's not enough of them. Is the Togos. They do a pretty good job.
Those
Okay,
are-
yeah, I like them.
I really like them.
Is it two goes or Togos?
I don't. I
Is it
think
to
it's,
go?
I think it's to goes.
Do you want a Togos to go?
I had a callback for a Togo's commercial 3 years ago, non-union. Did not book it, but got close.
That's the best.
Would you have done it if you booked it?
Yeah.
For non-union?
3 or 4 years ago? Yeah, yeah.
Of course. If I booked a Togo's commercial now, I would
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it if it's
yeah.
non-union. I'd be like, screw you, SAG.
Have
I
you-
need this money.
Now, have you had a witch before?
Yeah.
Those are pretty good.
You know what? I'll tell you
I like
what.
how custom it is.
Yeah, but it's what do you write it down on the bag?
It's sometimes a little bit of work.
and then they put it across like a laundry, like a linen cable. You have to like slide something.
There's a little Asian woman who puts your sandwich on a hanger and presses the button.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I'm
Too much work, too much prep.
I'm not totally into which. I don't like the name.
I've never been there, but I see them all the time. I am actually like the reason I got Jimmy John's recently was I was in Salisbury, Maryland, and I was starving. No, it was Jimmy John's. I was in Salisbury, Maryland. I was starving. When I'm in LA, I'm all about going. If I'm gonna get a sandwich, I find that restaurant that's like there's no chain. It's just like there's that place right next to Tatsu that we go get the ramen at.
The carving board?
I think it's the carving board.
Is it right? Is a sandwich shop right next to it? Carving board.
That place is fantastic.
Great.
Yeah.
Sunset.
So you have to seek out the non-corporate sandwich.
We're also sandwich guys, though, I think.
You are?
Well,
Yeah.
he definitely is. When we go to Canner's, he's what I love
I was
about
there last night. What are the odds?
Were you?
Yeah, and I had a tuna sandwich on rye with lettuce, mayonnaise, matzo ball soup with chicken, and then some guy was freaking out, and I put it on my Instagram stories not about what I was eating, but he was freaking out. But I did go to Cantor's.
There's always somebody freaking out at Canner's. Canner's is a place where people have breakdowns. You have a mishmash, and you just sit in your anxiety.
But it is. There's action there at Cantor's.
Always
It's 24
action
hours.
there.
Yeah.
I almost got beat up doing the kibitz room recently.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was. Did I tell you about this? I was. So Esther Steinberg runs a show there, and I close it out most Mondays. And
Is
so
it every
I go-
Monday?
Every Monday. It could be. It's hit or miss, but sometimes it's a fantastic place to work out material for me.
Okay,
So
sign me up. I've done it before, but
Oh,
not
she'd love to
recently.
have you. Yeah, both of you guys.
You have
So-
to be Jewish?
No, not at all. But that night it was
get you a
all
German.
Jews because it was on Hanukkah. So I doing a joke about owning a dog, and I can only hear people laughing on the right side, not on the left where the far booths are. So I say something along the lines of, "Why aren't you guys enjoying it? They're enjoying it." And this guy yells out, "I got a dog!" And so all I heard was the Coming to America line. You lie. You ain't never heard. You have never met Dr. Martin Luther the King. So I said that back to him.
Right.
And then he started calling me racist, and I'm like, dude, what
Was
are
he
you
African American?
He was. Well, no. The one guy was white, but a guy sitting with him was black or like Latino. And then it just became back and forth. He would shit on me. I would shit on him. And then I hit him with this riff. I was like, shouldn't you guys be waiting in line for a $600 Supreme T-shirt? And then all hell broke loose. And then it was like Noah Garden Schwartz and Clayton English had to calm these guys down. And they were just like, we're going to fuck you up and blah, blah, blah.
Really?
And then I eventually, but me as trying to be a comic, I was like, I'm going to stay on stage and see if I can keep this going, right? And I tried to do a joke, and then it came to the part of the joke where I had to do an act out. And it was so awkward in the room, I just stop and go, I'm not doing this anymore. And I just walk out, and then like 5 guys come up next to me as I'm sitting in that side section right by the door. That's like in that so there's like it's like a restaurant, but they're never serving. It's only if the restaurant's like super
Right,
packed.
right.
And the, like 5 guys are like, motherfucker, like we're waiting outside for your ass. And I was just like, I'm gonna go and get some latkes. You guys can wait all you want. And supposedly one of the servers that serves us a lot, I forget his name, dark haired guy. Kind of looks like Avery if he was like, Flynn, yeah. He
Hold that
Good
thought.
guy.
Flynn's great. But Flynn comes up to me and goes, he goes, dude, I don't know if you realize this, but there were about 15 guys waiting outside for you. They're all gone now, but there was a shitload of dudes.
They're fans of the Comedy Jam.
huge fans of the Jam. They wanted autographs.
They wanted to audition for roadies.
It's funny you say that because last night I was at Cantor's. Okay, so I did the Dime across the street. That's Adam Hunter's room, workout room.
Yeah.
On last night was Tuesday. So I did the room, and he books that out like 3 months, 4 or 5 in advance. That Adam, I'm booked for the Dime again. I'll be back there in July 2019.
I'll be there.
So I did the show, and then I went across the street. I went to Cantor's, and I got some soup, and then there was a big commotion. I have to describe it. An African American guy was mad at something. He had ordered food on takeout because he had a bag with him, and I walked in, sitting, and then he was like yelling at the cooks, yelling. I put it on Instagram. It's on Instagram stories. I put it on Instagram. He was yelling, saying "mother effer," this and that. I don't know what he was mad about necessarily, but Flynn stepped to him.
Flynn's tough, dude.
Flynn said, "Okay, you got to," like he was like, and the guy said, "Don't touch me. You better back off me." I have it on video. And so Flynn was doing that, and the guy was there for like another minute yelling. about whatever. I'm not sure. I mean, it was cursing, yelling. People were like a little.
Time
everybody noticed.
Every time I've been to Cantor's, there has been an unruly guest that causes a scene. It's just that kind of
Is that
place.
what goes on there now?
Well, that's why they shut it down. You know, if you notice, it used to be 24/7, and now they shut it down during the week. I think at like 2 or 3, and then on the weekends it's 24 hours. But because people would show up there drunk and fucked up, and they would just, they wreak havoc.
Yeah, it was wild last night. I mean, he was a lot of cursing, a lot of this. He had a problem with the cooks. The cooks were Latino. He was African American, so there was some kind of underlying tension there. I don't want to get involved.
Well, one of the things about that restaurant, Brody, that me and Jeremiah talk about all the time is the inconsistency of the food. I love that place because I love the ambiance. I love the camaraderie we have with all the servers. And there's people. Bella's been there for almost 60 years. Like, I love the people that work there. But you order something, and it's never the same as it was the time before. It's always like. It's just always something a little off.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like, if I was that guy, maybe he ordered a sunrise sandwich and his yolk was well too cooked.
I'm saying like maybe something happened with his order. I'm not saying he was wrong or right. I'm saying he was wrong probably for screaming and yelling and dropping the F word and going after these cooks who are just trying to work and scaring people. And Flynn did step to him to try to like, hey, let's break it up. And then I didn't know Flynn, but he went up to me. He goes, hey, Brody, like your comedy or whatever. And I go, hey, yeah, I saw you pushing that guy or like trying to like break it up. And he says, yeah, that kind of stuff happens here a lot now.
A lot.
Yeah.
So, but I went there and I saw Brad, the pianist. Brad was there.
Tuesday nights, Kibitz Room, the Cantor's Jam is one of my favorite things in LA. It's a hidden gem.
I just need to go out there and be social. And even if it involves seeing action, and I mean, it's like, going to Cantor's, I saw people. You need to get out and socialize. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Oh, I think there's, this holiday season, there's just a strange energy around this week. The hustle and bustle, people coming and going.
Agreed.
And just people thinking about their families and stuff or their friends or what they're going to be doing sometimes stirs the pot a little bit.
Yeah.
And I had a strange happening on Monday at the Comedy Store.
Somebody punched you in your nuts.
What?
Nuts.
Wait, no,
I heard about that.
What happened? And tell me who they are, and let's get them.
There's this dude who I was like doing my thing, doing my set in the original room. Had a great spot. I got potluck. I got drawn number 2.
I got 7.
Paid regular, so it was great timing. Like I got up around 11 p.m. That's a great time slot.
Good crowd in there.
Good crowd too. I go up there, I start doing my thing. I'm doing some material. I'm riffing, and this guy kind of pipes up out of nowhere and. I wasn't even looking his direction, so I was like, okay, I guess, I got to address this. So right away, I roasted him a little bit, and he didn't take too kindly to it because he thought he was going to get a laugh off of his heckle, and then I countered it, right?
Uh-huh.
So we start going back and forth.
Oh, you were going back and forth?
We started going back and forth after that because he kept speaking up.
Uh-huh.
And I kept, I'm the comedian. I do it every night. So I'm going to win. I'm going to beat anybody who verbally comes at me, Mm-hmm. So at that point.
Confident.
He's good. Dude.
I'm very good with.
He's good with crowd work. And I mean, it's why he's on. Dude, without Jeremiah certain points during the jam, I mean, it's like he's just. If I can't think of anything, Jeremiah's got 5 funny things to say about somebody. His mind is like, it's great. Continue.
Fun to bounce off of. So basically, it gets to a point where he starts feeling embarrassed, because he's landing. He landed a couple things that were pretty funny. Like I'll give him credit for that. But I kept, going back in and countering, and it got to a point where I embarrassed him, and I was like looking at him. He's in the front row.
He's sitting in the front row.
He's sitting in the front row, and I'm looking down on him. And he stands up and just goes whap, like just sack taps me so hard.
Ooh.
Where I have the recording and it makes like a
your balls exploded.
Yeah. And I had already told security the first time when he was chiming in. I was like, no, he's fine. I engaged. Like, it's fine. Like, I brushed them off. I didn't want him getting kicked out over something that like we were already talking. So I gave him a chance to calm down. Second time, whenever he hit me, they escorted him out.
Wait, he hit you
immediately.
Oh, yeah,
again?
dude.
No. The second time, whenever he
Jeremiah
whenever
just
he-
stood there and just took like 5 shots to the nuts. Ka!
All right,
Ka!
now on the
Ka!
ninth time, whenever he put on the brass knuckles, I was like, all right, security, you might want to come over. No, whenever the second time security came over, like they were on the way, and that's whenever he hit me, and like they had to escort him out, and I got sick to my stomach immediately because I've been punching the balls like. When was
In
the last time
months.
you got punched? You're an adult. When does that happen?
I love he said months.
Pete Rose hit me in my nuts one time.
He would do it.
Yeah,
You get that deep.
and he laughed.
Yeah, you get that deep sickness in your stomach right away. You're like, oh. So I finished the set, and they escorted him out, and I actually was able to tie a bow on the set, and I said, thank you and good night. And I hugged the guy before he left. I was like, you know what? I'm glad you came here. You just can't do that, man.
You hugged him?
I hugged him before he left.
And what did the guy, did he like smile and be like, hey, thanks,
I mean,
brother?
the audience was so blown away that I hugged him after that. They were like, why did he just punch you in the balls? I was like, I had to put closure on the thing.
How old was the guy?
He was old. He claimed to be a Green Beret too. That was
Right.
like a big thing of the back and forth.
Uh-huh.
And I would be very shocked if he was actually a Green Beret. Like
I
most
mean-
of the people who brag about it and are very vocal about it and like say and make those big claims they're usually not having. They don't hold those.
Is that a
actual
Green
titles.
Beret move? The nut slap?
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
I mean,
that's part of the training. They got to stand there and take 8 shots to the balls.
Was
Wait,
he trying to be? Was
Green
he?
Beret. I'm surprised he wasn't in SWAT. Hello.
Hello. I love
Hi.
it. When he did that, or when he was back and forth with you,
Yeah.
was he having a good time, or was he getting upset?
He was having a good time, but only to a point. You know what I mean? Like he was having a good time when he was getting his licks in, but he didn't like to take it. You know what I mean? He loved to chime in, and which I rarely do this. He was like, my turn. I was like, okay. And I held the mic, and
You did.
I let him talk into the mic, which I rarely do
do,
with
yeah.
audience members.
Correct, yeah.
But I was like, this guy, whatever. Something was funky about him. I was like, I'm gonna play. There's a fun Monday night crowd. I was like, whatever, I'll do it.
So when he, was he when he hit you, was he trying to be funny with that? Did he think that was funny?
I think he definitely thought that was funny because he was like, "Wait, why am I getting kicked out?" And I was like, "Those are the rules, man. You can't physically
Yeah, that's like,
attack the comedians."
that's the line.
Yeah, you can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't do that. I don't think I haven't been physically attacked, luckily.
This is the second time for me.
Second
now.
time?
This is the second time. The first time was that Kill Tony moment that happened in Austin, Texas.
That's so great.
Oh yeah, I
So
heard, and I met
great.
that guy also.
oh yeah.
I met that because we did Sam Tripoli and myself and Jim Florentine. We and Chad Zumach. We did a run in Dallas.
Okay.
And then we did a show at San Marcos, and the guy was there, and they said, "Oh yeah, this is a guy has red hair."
Yep.
And he charged the stage or something.
He did a set where he was on mushrooms and drunk, and another instance where I was roasting somebody, and then they didn't like it. I may have to stop. I may have
You
to
gotta
start
calm
selecting.
down.
I got to calm down with the
They
roasting.
can't
a little
handle
bit.
it, maybe. Well, so what do you think? Do you think there's something in the air, like recently, with people being on edge?
Take this.
I think it's the time of year. I think it's a very stressful time of year, and people like are out of their comfort
But
zones
what's
right now.
stressful?
I think there's a lot. I think people are thinking about traveling. I think they're thinking about how the year is upcoming. With that hanging over your head, you're
Yeah.
always reevaluating what you accomplished.
I didn't
this
do
year.
enough this
I
year.
didn't do
I
enough
wish I
here.
would have done more. Why did I do that? Why am I still at this job? Why do I not have a love of my life? Like all
Yeah.
those different things.
I have those all the time.
Exactly, but the thing is, a lot of people like me, I love this time of the year. This is my favorite time of the year because I'm actually at my happiest because I know that the year is coming to an end, and I feel like I've been working. You know what I mean? It's like I'm enjoying all the work. So even though you would think, you might look at it and go, all right, not much has changed, but everything has changed. You know what I mean? And I'm evolving as a person. Some people aren't able to accept that. You know what I mean? They feel like they're still stuck.
Yeah, I guess people are. For me, the holidays. I'm just kind of like rolling into the new year. I'm not looking at I'm not looking at 2019 as a beginning or ending of anything. Other than it is 2018 year of the dog. I'm sad to see that go.
Oh man!
Did you know it's 2018
I didn't,
year of the
but
dog?
That's why it was so special. I think.
I'm
so
telling-
loving.
I don't know why more people don't look at astrology or numbers or a year of the dog. You don't see any of that stuff. I believe in a lot of that. I have fun with it, and I've seen good things happen with that. It's like, why not try that? Why do people, I know people like look down on, astrology or whatever, but why not talk about it? It's better than politics. It's better than being angry.
Sure.
It's fun to say,
agree with
look
you
at
there.
connections.
I mean, one of the things I started doing on Instagram was I started to follow a lot of like spiritual pages, like the Power of Tantra. It's just something to break it up. I know it's giggly, but it's something.
I thought of a page that I shouldn't be following right now.
It's something to break up the monotony of looking at other people's stuff, and then you see something that's very positive that's in, you're like, all right, that person's doing this. I wasn't invited to this party. And then you see like a quote from like, the Buddha or some guru, and it just kind of uplifts your spirits a little bit and helps you put everything, into perspective.
Yeah, I like the motivational quotes.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful if you're like retweeting The Secret or something like that.
If you
people
do
are
it
gonna
too
look
much,
at
people
you.
are like, okay, they kind of brush. All right, this guy.
But once in a while, it's okay.
I think so.
I like to do it. I see The Secret, and I believe in. I feel that when you put the energy out, it does come back.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
feel there is a universal.
The law of attraction is 100% real. If you're a negative person, you're going to attract negative things. If you're a positive person, other people are going to be around you.
Right, and everybody, to be honest, is negative. There's a
in
lot
our
of
business.
especially,
In our business, yes.
But on top of even like in today's, you throw in the politics, you throw in just today's news. It's very negative.
Well, I had to
Yeah.
turn off CNN. I was watching CNN all day long. I just had it on my television, and I was realizing, I was starting to wonder why I was getting depressed. And it's just because you can't watch it anymore. The second you cut negative things out of your life and you put positive things in, it's just, you're obviously going to feel better. You know what I mean? And so the world is a really scary place right now. We have all this information at our fingertips. And the thing is, if you just got to kind of cut that out.
Or keep it at your screen time at a minimum.
Yes, but I mean, my favorite quote of all time, or just saying, is ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Because when you don't know, you're far happier.
Well, that's the thing. People ask me all the time. Like I get this question a lot. They're like, how have you never drank or done drugs?
Sure.
And I always am like, well, I've never done it, so I don't know the other side of it. So it's easier, it's the ignorance is bliss thing. If
Yeah.
I had tried it once, I'm sure I would have wanted it or had that more of that craving or idea. But since I have no context for it whatsoever.
What would be if you were going to try a drug, which one do you think you'd want to try?
Mushrooms or acid for sure.
I could see you doing I think mushrooms
Yeah.
is something that's something I still do. I mean, that and pot, I do anything that's all natural, but mushrooms are a very, very positive drug.
That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, they're fantastic. When I was depressed after, years, and then I took mushrooms, and I just had this, I was like riding this positive high for months. It just like awoken, or is that the word? Awoken?
Yeah.
Awakened.
Woken.
It just woke up this positive energy that was inside of me that stayed with me for like 2 months after doing them.
And that's what they say about mushrooms.
Very therapeutic. Very therapeutic.
What's the science behind that?
Well, I don't know the breakdown of how it works, but all I know is it affects. I don't know.
Does
I
it
wish I
melt
could-
anxiety?
Is it like a serotonin release? Or
I think
anything
so.
Like that?
Well,
I don't know.
I think whereas something like ecstasy releases so much serotonin, but it depletes what you have naturally. So then the next few days after you
Such
do,
a downer.
yeah, it's such a downer. But mushrooms it literally just changes your perspective, for the few hours that you're on it. And I'm not talking about if you take enough to like you're tripping balls. Like I'm talking about just enough where. So I'll give you a perfect example. Nate Craig and Chris Fairbanks I don't think they do it anymore, but for years they were doing a 4th of July party.
I think they did it this past year.
I think this was the last one.
Okay.
And I remember them mentioning that. And like Nate buys this huge bag of mushrooms and he's just giving them out to everybody. And so one year, I was depressed. Ange had been gone for a little bit, and And I remember I go to this party and I took mushrooms, and I mean, everybody was having a good time. And you're talking, I'm hanging out with like Pete Holmes and Kumail Nanjiani and all these like altier comedians, but everybody at that point was so on the same level that nobody cared what section you were hanging out with or what places you performed at. We were all just together and giggling and having this wonderful time.
And you think the mushrooms?
Oh, I know the mushrooms were, because it just levels you down. You know what I mean? You just feel like you want to be around people. You want to feel like the energy. Like you talk about positive energy. Everybody's giving off positive energy, so we're all just attracted to one another.
Can you drive and function on mushrooms?
Wouldn't. No, I mean you can do anything, but I wouldn't.
I don't know if I've done mushrooms before. I mean, somebody may have put them into a brownie at one time for me, because I took a brownie once and I was really like.
Spoogly doogly, you were all.
Yeah, like we were
Dongle,
really like in
wongly.
another. I was like in
Squiggly
another.
Dan.
I was in a completely
Wriggly
other
diggly.
world. But I alcohol, I could, if somebody said to me, Brody, you're never gonna have alcohol again, I'd be fine with it. I don't have like a craving for alcohol. I've been lucky. It's just never had that. Never had a craving for smoking cigarettes, like nicotine. Never had, because I've smoked a cigarette. I've tried. I've puffed on one, and somebody had one time put nicotine or cigarette in a like a blunt, and it like made my head spin. So it's like, I don't like that. Same thing with like chewing tobacco. When I was in college at Arizona State, guys would be dipping all the time. Put the dip in and some would even do the big chaw. I did the dip, and it made my head spin.
Did it start tearing up your lip, or did you not do it that much?
I know I did it like once or twice, but it made my head spin, and it's like, I don't want to do it. And then when I suited up for the Dodgers, like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, I got to go and hang out with them for the day. And they gave me dip, and it made my head spin. It's like,
it's a little too intense.
I don't want it.
I don't understand why people would dip. That's to me is just like
they get a buzz off of it rather than feeling sick. You know
sure,
what I mean?
no, and I agree, but it's still, you just put this big lump of crap in your lip.
Well, that's like the old, some guys do that and they spit it out, but the dip, the Copenhagen, and it just made my head spin. Same thing with alcohol. I think when I was a kid, I drank once in high school and I vomited and went through my nose, and then same thing another time. So I've had some bad experiences.
Did you, whenever you had that puke come through your nose, do you can you not do that brand or anything again? Because there's a thing that happened to me with salsa, that it came through my nose once, and it's the reason why I don't like onions and cilantro to this day.
There you go.
He hates cilantro.
I used
but
to be able to eat it like a little bit. Like I'd be like, I'll try to eat around it, whatever. I'd eat some raw onions and cilantro, it'd be fine. But after that experience, anytime I like bite into something, it triggers it back from like 20 years ago now.
Yeah, I mean that's possible for I mean I don't eat certain foods, like a tomato I can't bite into. I don't like the texture, like little seeds, and
yeah.
I'm not into that. So like a pickle I don't like.
Oh man,
I'm sorry.
I'm a big pickle guy.
He's a big pickle guy.
Especially the Jewish delis. I love my pickles.
I had a poke bowl probably about a year ago, and I got sick from that. And
you did?
And I love sushi, and I'll eat sushi, but for some reason, just the idea of a poke bowl now, it just makes me ill.
I had I've never had poke. What's in that?
It's like sushi, but in a bowl form with more rice and seaweed and some other crap.
Squirtle, I choose you.
Now who's that from?
It's a Pokemon reference. It's every time, because you said to Poke Bowl, and there's a Poke Ball that's in Pokemon that Ash Ketchum throws out and catches different Pokemon, and every time you say Poke, it's reminding me of the different Pokemon. All right, deep cut.
Jeremiah's 30 years old.
I'm
just letting
30
you guys
now,
know that.
and
He's 30.
I still know this stuff.
You're still into video games. You're still into all that stuff.
I mean, I like all that stuff. I don't own a console. I don't have time for it. Which is, I don't know. Maybe I should have that as a me time.
Don't trust me. Everybody's talking about Red Dead Redemption, things like that. It's like when I have a console, but I don't play it because I know that if I start playing Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption, whatever it is, like I will be hooked. And it's like my time is already so precious that if I add something that's taking away from that, I mean, I won't get anything done.
Yeah, I never got into the video games. I had a Nintendo 3 or whatever it was, and I did a couple of the racing games. They made me dizzy, and I go, I'm out.
That's all you just, everything is you eat it, you get dizzy, and it's done.
Yeah, and it's probably, I'm a meat and potatoes guy. I like matzo ball soup. But I'll tell you what.
The last time I had a cigarette, high school production of Grease, Reseda High School. You got it.
Push
One
and believe.
puff, method actor. Had to be escorted out in a gurney.
That has happened to me before. I got railroaded. I have been escorted out on a gurney.
From the production of Grease?
No, when I had my show, they called the cops on me.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
5150?
That's a great album, Van Halen.
Van Halen.
There you go.
You know what? Maybe they gave me that. I mean, I've talked about it before. I feel like with that, I have felt like when I went off I'm off meds. I've been off medications now for, like I said, 5 or 6 months, and I feel good. I feel normal. I worked my way up to this. I understand, like, when they say you can't stop your meds cold turkey. You just can't stop taking like a Lexapro because one day you're on it and then you're off it for a couple of days, and then it's like, it's like you're flying you're flying. And you feel great, and people aren't used to it. You're out of it's like you're taking a cast off. People aren't used to this guy, especially if they know you. Then you're out of character.
Yeah.
And then they start saying, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" And you go, "Yeah, I'm fine. I feel great." But they're not used to it. So then they start saying that. Then you get worked up because now you don't have the buffer to relax.
I think that's hard for me sometimes as like I'm a fairly high energy person, like in general.
Sure.
So if I'm tired and people are seeing me tired and I get asked that question a lot, that's pretty hard for me whenever people are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, you seem like a little, I'm just like tired. It's almost
I'm on
like
3 freaking shows.
Sometimes like it's almost worth it. Like whenever I'm that tired, I'm like, I think I just need to call it quits for the night. It's more productive to just sleep rather than having a bunch of people being like, is something wrong?
I've had
with
people
it?
do that to me too.
Right?
Like Eric Griffin walked by me once. He goes, "You all right, man?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's just like, "All right, well, I mean, you look like you're like something's wrong with you." And then Chelsea, I was at the Comedy Store for some reason where people are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "What am I doing with my face that is making people
I think you're just
that
not being like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know, like
I know.
bouncing around.
I know,
think
but it's
because
like-
it's like a contrast.
I know."
No, I would get that too. Like, "Are you okay?" Like the guys would bring me up on the stage. "Are you okay, Brody?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good."
And maybe I was doing audience warm up all day. Maybe I was coming from a gig.
Sure.
Maybe I'm coming from a podcast. Maybe I'm doing baseball. Maybe I'm at home in the valley doing family stuff. It's like I feel for me specifically, I'm different in the sense that I grew up here. I do the bass. I'm kind of like all over the map. So I feel like sometimes I'm not. I could be scattered at times, and people don't realize. But everyone's got their own things going on in their world. I just feel it's unique. I just have doing the baseball, if you're a friend, it's like my friend is a coach in the Major League Baseball. So for me, I like baseball to not be a part of that. It's like hard for me to walk away. I like being a part of it. But there's times when I feel like, okay, I'm here at Dodger Stadium, but maybe I should be focusing on my stand-up.
Yeah.
Same thing with like audience warm-up. I put so much into audience warm-up. It was draining, but I did a good job. And then at night, it's like hard to do stand-up. Okay, I'm a stand-up comedian when you've done audience warm-up all day. Especially like when you do a good job and they like you. Now you go do comedy at night, it's like, oh, that's another thing.
I did. Whenever I was working with Avery Pearson on Jeff Ross's new show that's coming out, Historical Roast.
Yep.
Avery and I had to do the warm up for all the shows, and it was 6 shows. And I'll tell you what, I have a newfound respect for what you and Don do, because a couple of the shows, they left us out there to like just do so much time, like it wasn't running on time.
Right.
And we had to do, no joke, we had to do 45 minutes, like one time before the taping, and it was just like.
But also, you guys were stuck, right?
We were
you had
stuck
told me
off stage.
They
It
couldn't
was-
like walk around. They didn't have a cordless mic. Like they were stuck.
It was
Was this in the
this
belly
little
room where
booth.
you guys were shooting?
No,
Oh,
it was, it was like at a shoot, like on, like in Hollywood. Like it was a sound stage.
Yeah.
And so here's the audience like this, straight on, and then we're off to the side. So we're trying to like warm them up from the side with corded mics, and it was one of the hardest gigs I've ever done. Like in any.
Yeah.
In any.
And he had mentioned to me, just to add to the story,
Yeah.
was that you said all of the executives from Netflix were
Dude.
there. It's like, so he's, first of all, they've never done audience warm up before. Like they're both comics.
Yeah, I've done it a handful of times for some other shows, but nothing like.
Yeah, but
that.
nothing like, you mean, there's a difference between 5-6 minutes. All right, everybody doing good.
I
Look
know.
at you. Because I saw you do that when I went to one of the tapings. Jeremiah had gone up and he was doing like, you were doing that Southern character.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was, and he was dressed in the costume and it was so funny. And he was it was just great energy, but he was moving around and he was able to
I
like,
had a
have
wireless
fun.
mic. I did. That was the time.
But you're
after
talking
I
about
corrected
like
it.
you're talking about like doing audience warm up for, you know, they're stuck in a little corner and they're wearing a costume and all the executives are there and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
like
You got to bring in an audience, like a dedicated audience warm up, possibly. for that.
Right.
Looking back.
So
on it.
I did audience warm up once for this MTV series. It was not Lil Rel. Lil Duval had his own show
Yep.
on MTV, and the director hired me because I used to work with him. And so I did it for 6 episodes, and I did a good job because I, for years, was a private party DJ, and so I was like a bar mitzvah DJ through college and weddings, and it's not the same thing, but it's literally just be positive. And I, you know, from doing that, I learned how to like, all right, you know, look at this person here. Let's do a dance I mean, literally, like I was basically doing variations of like a bar mitzvah DJ.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, this side's Coke, this side's Pepsi. Time for the candle lighting service. And I mean, I was just doing whatever I could do to survive.
Right.
So like you said, I have an appreciation for it, but it's just like, can you imagine doing your first time doing it with every executive there and then being stuck? I think that's why it worked for me, was that I was able to move around and had a cordless mic and was walking through. I mean,
I'm dressed up as Hades. I have literal devil horns on my head, like a god.
Hard to
like,
do warm-up.
Leather outfit, eyeliner on, and I'm stuck in this corner. And we started just riffing on how poorly the room was receiving us and how this was our showcase for Netflix, and it started killing because it was
they
just
liked
like
that.
they loved it because it was they acknowledged how ridiculous
it was real.
the predicament was.
Yeah, but you were
It was
also
real.
you were present, and then it's just like any time, and I think as a comedian too, is where I've gotten better is being able to know when if a joke doesn't work, I now have 8 things I could say to follow up that the joke didn't work. Do you know what I mean? It's the fact that I'm not. You remember when you would first start and you tell a joke and nobody, and this is the place where they're supposed to laugh and they wouldn't, and you have that second where it's like, yeah, and then you go into the next bit.
Yeah. So anyways,
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah.
So I think just from when you're able to like call out the ridiculousness of your situation in the room, everybody knows that you're there with them and you're not just like doing your shtick. That's the key. I think, well, at least for me, where it's helped me get better.
No, yeah, the warm ups, and I've done 3,000 of them. Best Damn Sports Show, Chelsea Lately,
Yeah, dude.
The Burn with Jeff Ross,
Going.
Jeselnik Offensive.
Rachel Ray,
I did not do Rachel Ray.
The View,
Though I would struggle on those shows.
The Chew. You do good on The Chew.
The Jew. Here's the Jew on the Chew. You know, Don Barris taught me about warm up. He taught me about how to run around, share your energy, go up and down the aisle. You know, you want to make it like they're a part of the show. You're a part of the show. You're connecting with them, and you're not like some BS guy. You know, especially when you have comedians on the panel. I've done panel shows when you say a joke and the crowd, you could feel the crowd not connected. My goal when I did stand up was to make sure, warm up, to have these crowds connected with the comedians.
Sure.
Make sure they're present, they're human beings, and talk to them and not just go through the motions. Another thing is like passing out candy. I'm not passing out candy if it's like a 30-minute taping. You know, it's like a 2-hour taping maybe. So I try to make it as much like the Comedy Store, like a live comedy. These are comedians. This is live, and then let's amp it up a little bit. And you just want to be honest with them. Like, hey, we got cameras. Maybe they're a little nervous. Play with them. Let's go. And then you know, and also it's not about me being the funniest guy there. You know, you're not, when you're a warm-up, you're not trying to be funny.
You're supporting role. It's like an ensemble picture. You're a piece that's like adding to the painting.
Yeah, you want them to do well. It's not about me. It's about Chelsea. It's about Chris Hardwick. It's about the Sklar brothers. It's about the athletes always giving back. And I would do it, and you know, it's like I did it because they forced me out there. I never knew what a warm up was, and you just do it. Same thing with like stand up. I don't know. I just go up there and talk, and they seem to like it. But it is about jokes. But you get out there, and you're thrown to the wolves, and it's about. But I try to get that energy, not that when you know the fake TV energy. You want real energy. So those comedians, you could see it on their faces. Like if the crowd isn't good, the comedian can like panic, and it doesn't look good on camera. When that crowd is connected, they're into it. But the problem is like these paid audience members. That's another thing. Like you get that. It's a whole.
I did that for a while, and I have to say that's one of the worst jobs I've ever
What, to be
done.
a paid audience member?
Paid audience
What were
member.
you paid to sit through?
It was like some doctor show, like on. It was like a spin-off of like a Dr. Phil kind of show.
The doctors.
It might have been the doctor.
I watched that show.
Yeah.
But there they
Pretty
probably
popular.
just want you to clap and smile, right?
Yeah, but I just had done like a handful of those different kind of shows, and it's just so much worse even than doing background work. Because if you're doing background work, you at least are like, oh, I'm on a set, you know, I'm like, maybe I can learn some stuff. You're just a monkey who's clapping and hollering and ha whenever you're paid audience member. It's rough. I did not like it at all.
Yeah, it's a rough
Also,
gig.
I'm a performer too, so like to be having to force to be watch somebody else that I don't like, that was difficult for me.
But you could clap. I always feel like clapping is you're just a machine.
Jeremiah that's one of his problems. He can't clap. It's always been one of his. See, he doesn't have the hand-eye coordination.
But clapping, and I would say, okay, let's see what you got. Like get the crowd going. Let's see what you guys got. And they're like,
Yeah.
and I go, no, I'm not doing that. I go, this is how we clap. And I'm just like, don't even
That's
think
a good
about
clap,
it.
bro.
But I don't even think
You
about
got
it.
you got full hand contact.
And then I'll say,
Look, he's doing it.
I'll do
He's
the show
doing
without
it.
you guys. I'll do the show. I'll clap on my own. I could fill up a studio with my own clapping to make it seem like there's more than just me there. So clapping, I feel like that's something they can do. I can't make an audience that doesn't get the joke not laugh. But if you're clapping and you have energy, chances are you'll laugh a little bit and you throw in some fun. You make it fun with them. You throw in the faces or whatever. But yeah, audience warm up. Last to be hired, first to be fired. I've been fired recently, not recently, but the last few years on some gigs, and that made me kind of want to get out of warm up because I started to see how these audience members, it was like they're like angry, getting angry and not into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But to have like how many like there isn't an At Midnight right now. There isn't a Chelsea Lately. There isn't a panel show. I'd like to think that we can get a daily Comedy Central show, a daily something show where we have 3 to 4 comedians with an audience and getting that going. That show doesn't exist right now.
It's true. There's a hole right now for it, definitely.
I mean, why do you think there's a hole with like not having a Chelsea Lately type show?
She went to Netflix. I thought she has her. Does she still have her own show?
No, but I'm
Oh,
just saying.
okay.
I'm just talking about.
I mean,
that was a show that broke a lot of comedians.
Sure. Yeah. No, it did. I mean, At Midnight gave a lot of people their first
Yeah.
credits. I don't understand why it went off the air. I thought people
'Cause
were
I
still.
left.
I think that's why. That's what they were saying.
I'm telling you, you get rid of me.
The
Bad things happen.
No one else could get the crowd into a frenzy like you could. You know.
Because I would go there and I'd be excited. This is TV. We're having fun. We're seeing careers. This show's going to build. You know, it keeps building. We'll do giveaways. When I worked at Best Damn Sports Show, we got tons of giveaways. Always getting DVDs. And you're just like giving them, you know, we're going to get these things to happen. You got to believe and push. And it was fun. But so the audience members just became a little more defiant. And the ones who were the paid audience members because they were conditioned to know that they can just cruise in, eat, not look good, not care. And it's like, it's making my job harder. That's what I said. I go, you're making my job harder. I don't make much more money than you. So I
Yeah.
started being combative with them. And then I said, I got to get out. So I quit working. I was making good money. and I had to quit at midnight because I couldn't take it. And I was like, is it me? Am I not on the right medications? Am I not doing this right? And it
Sometimes
just
you get burnt out. Sometimes you have
but
that
I wasn't
breaking-
but I wasn't burnt out.
But yeah, I mean, after you're dealing with another shitty audience and you've been and you're giving everything you can, I mean, after a while, you're just like, what's the point? You know, you reached a point. It's like you hit a plateau, and it's time to move on.
The point is, don't eat in the show. Do you have to eat frickin' Pringles? This guy brought in Pringles, so I took the Pringles. And I go, you get the Pringles? They get Pringles. Give me that. You get the Pringles. You get the Pringles. You can't take somebody's food, Brody. You don't touch their. They're like nutcases, but they'll bring in their food. They'll bring in their candy, and it's like that got to me. Yes, you can tell me a lot, but why should I leave? You get the F out of here.
Yeah.
You're bringing the show down. I'm here because I care. But you know what? If you care too much, people think you're a weirdo.
So somebody brought Pringles.
F
to
yeah.
eat?
I mean, it sounds pretty good, right? Pringles.
I mean, I love Pringles, but you can't have a crispy chip.
I know, yeah.
What?
But these are the silly things
I
you
left
deal
at
with.
midnight over an Almond Joy bar. This guy was chewing, and I was like, get out of here. And he's like, my dad owns Comedy Central and Viacom. And he goes, it's either you or me, pal. And I said, see you later.
There you go. And I'll tell you who else is a bad audience member. VIPs. That's another one.
Oh,
What do you mean?
well, I mean, they act like
They're the
they own the
worst.
place. Of
VIPs
course.
are always the worst. I mean, even when I'm a VIP,
I don't even.
become a dick.
I don't even like to put people on VIP lists, even for very rare occasions, because there's a certain air where they're like, I'm VIP, and it's like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah,
you're just on the list like everybody else.
This is what would happen at Chelsea lately. I would warm up the audience, and they were ready to go because at Chelsea they were into the show, they were into the guests, and then we had like 100 and something people in there. And then he saved like 5 seats, like right in the middle of the audience. So I'm warming up the crowd, going through everything. Show's going to start in a few minutes, and then here come the VIPs. They come in, their phones, and they go sit right there, and the energy is gone. They're like, you see the crowd
That's why
looking.
the industry is supposed to go in the back. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in general for shows and different stuff like that.
But the warm-up gets blamed.
yeah, of course.
That's the problem.
Your job.
So what I'm getting at is maybe they should listen to the warm-ups. They would have a show on the air
Sure.
that'd be fun and working and going. I can't tell you how many shows I had to fight for like common sense at Best Damn Sports Show. Fight to make sure the audience could hear the jokes. Like they can't even hear it. The speakers aren't even on.
Right.
It's like Brody, the crowd's not reacting. They can't hear.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
get the
give
speakers
them a better
on?
monitor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all of that stuff. Like I fought all the time, and you know what? Like it's a thankless job. And looking back on it, maybe I'm not saying I hurt my career, but it may have done some things with that.
Have you ever had a breakdown while you were doing it? Like a real, like what I would call maybe an episode where you're just saying that you cracked.
Not really. I've had one, like I walked out on an E-Network show, and in between the tapings, I said, I'm out of here. I'm not coming back for the second taping because they're just like.
So disorganized and just so shitty.
No, well, this one was at E, and it was for one of those like botched, one of these plastic surgery shows or whatever, like a little thing. So I went in there. They brought a warm-up guy, and it was like 20 people, and it was like mellow. But the guy, and I was like just talking normal, and this audience member goes, "You have to keep talking?" I go, "Yeah, I'm doing my job."
Yeah.
And they were just kind of being defiant, these guys. And the stage manager was kind of like, I didn't really know him, and he was not really, he was doing his thing, but the crowd wasn't really listening to me so much. And then when I was having some issues, then the stage manager like took over, and then they start listening. It's like they were in cahoots almost with the stage manager.
Yeah.
So I said, F that. I'm not going to, it's like.
I mean, when we did the goddamn Comedy Jam tapings, our stage manager, who was actually, it was so funny because he was the stage manager for Historical Roast as well. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, we were telling them, like, listen, let me, Johnny, and Jeremiah have the mics. We'll do the show just like we do it
We'll
in
do
LA.
our own warm-up.
And
Yeah.
we will kill it. And
Right.
it was like fighting to get them to do what I knew would work. And it was like finally when they started to do it just a little bit, the show became Like you said,
The
like
tapings went way more
yeah,
smooth. It went way better
like-
because the audience was in a good place.
like natural energy, like you were talking about, not forced energy, because that's what, you know, we taped the Jam TV series just like we did the actual show, but we just had these stops in between where they were trying to do pickups in the back. So that's just killing the energy that we've already created from each performer or from what me, Jeremiah, and Johnny were doing. And it was just, it's just difficult. You know what I mean? It's like to really make something natural.
They don't know. You could have a stage manager like brings the energy down. I'm just saying that it's and it's harder now because everyone's sensitive about the audio. You can't say that. You can't do that. And it's like, it's like caring. You're not supposed to care. It's like this guy's out of control. It's like, no, I care about the show, and the comedians appreciate it.
Hey, I've gotten into that on multiple productions where I want it to be really good, and I very much care about my part, and it may be a small part, but I'll be like, hey, I need this, this, and this, like, to make the whole show better. Like, I want the show to be as good as possible, and like some people who just want to kind of get by with their jobs, whether it be like a wardrobe thing or something or whatever, like.
And the reason why I'm speaking on this so much is because it's comedy. Was that, a bag or something?
No,
he's opening up Pringles.
Reveal it.
He's got freaking Pringles he's opening.
You know what comes after E?
This is turmeric
F.
for my throat.
You.
This is
Get
like
out of
my-
here.
I'm coming off of a viral infection.
You take
so,
turmeric?
Yeah, I try to bring the inflammation down.
That works. They say turmeric's
It
a
does.
great one.
It does.
And it helps with inflammation. I take iodine drops. I take apple cider vinegar. Do you guys watch what you eat? Let's get back into that. I know we're bouncing around. We're just talking. I want to keep the
I'm
energy
trying
up.
to get Jeremiah to eat more, not healthier, but I mean, because Jeremiah, if you don't forget, let's not forget, Jeremiah did probably one of the worst things you can do to your body, which is do a weight gain challenge with Tony Hinchcliffe. And
did that. You
he
gained like
put
30 pounds, right?
30 pounds on
in 1 month.
in 1 month. That's the most like
Supersize me.
yeah, dude. And I mean, I think for the last few years, I've been, what I put into my body is like, I want to make sure like I'm eating right. So I cook all my meals. I take all the daily vitamins I'm supposed to. I drink blue algae. I go to, like, my friend owns Press Brothers Juicery, so I go in there all the time and I get, probiotics for my stomach, and I just, all natural ways to heal myself. So instead of taking antibiotics for the infection, I've just been doing all the all natural supplements.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I feel good. I mean, trust me, when I do these, like every morning I start off with this blue algae drink, and it's just like this shot of like these minerals that we basically lived off of when we were like just, still little organisms in lakes and shit. So, and I know since I've been doing that, my hair's gotten, fuller, my nails are cleaner,
really?
my eyes, everything, my digestive tract. Blue algae shot. It's called E3 Live.
Sounds like windshield wiper liquid.
It tastes like that too. But I give a little bit to my dog. My dog's coat got shinier. It's just like there's so many things that you could take that are natural supplements that will just make, you feel better.
I've been taking multivitamins lately, and I'm not getting sick as much.
You got to take a multivitamin. That was the one thing my dad said when I was broke and I was living when I first moved to LA. He's like, if you can't eat well, make sure you take a daily vitamin every day. Spend your money, get a good vitamin, get all the nutrients.
It does help.
I take vitamins. Yeah, go ahead.
Because we all travel a lot, but I a lot of times run myself down with little sleep, and then if I'm not sleeping enough, that's just how I get sick. Like it's just like a normal like. Other people, I feel like, just get tired, but I get straight up sick if I don't get enough sleep.
Dude, I've woken him up before, and Montreal in particular, when we were all excited. Remember that? When the first time we did the Jam at JFL, I was just riding that high, man. I was so excited to be there with my buddies. We were in like these two big hotel rooms that had like, a bunch of beds, and one morning
we had just gone to bed at 4 a.m., okay?
As we do on the festivals,
Around
it's
I've been there.
festival life.
4 a.m., 5 a.m., okay?
Got it.
And in my world, sleep is like as valuable as gold, especially in a week when I was doing Roast Battle and the Comedy Jam and trying to do other spots at the festival all during that week. So I'm very limited on rest. Okay.
Yeah, he does work a lot. I'm not going to deny that.
So then Josh basically at like 7:30.
Bullshit. It was not 7:30.
It
I'll
was
be
super
honest. It was
early in the
probably
morning.
10 a.m.
There's no way.
I mean,
there's absolutely no
listen,
way.
man,
Dude,
What happened? He woke you up?
I was like on the
I was
computer.
going to go pee, literally do my morning pee in the middle, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And Josh's like, dude, we got this great midget in the article, and he starts going off like about like this
blue
thing.
algae?
Like, yeah,
I wasn't doing blue algae yet.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
yet. That was that came later in life. But I remember I think we were getting ready for a song that we were going to do that night, or there was like an article written about one of the shows, and I was excited.
He went 1,000 miles an hour while I'm like in a sleepless like days just to try to go to the bathroom, and I was like on my way back to the bed.
Yeah, he was quite upset. He was quite upset and gave me like a death look, and he goes, "You said
No, I didn't
something."
even say anything.
No, you said something along the lines of, "I'm going to bed."
Like,
Something like that.
Were you
Something
guys
very-
rooming in Montreal?
yeah.
We had there was like they used to put us up at the Trilon, which
Trilon
was
or
like
whatever.
this. It was like kind of off where the beaten path of where there wasn't the Hyatt. So a couple blocks
in
away.
Toronto.
It was in Montreal.
Yeah.
And we had like there was one room that had 2 beds that me and I think Avery were sleeping in, and then
And I was in
Johnny-
the living room, which that's where I was sleeping, and Josh was already on his computer, so that's why whenever like he started talking, I was like, "This is gonna open up a can of worms." So I just like
He
I was
shut
like-
it down
I was like,
quick.
Hey, I went like this, and I lowered my.
Bring it down.
Yeah, he did that. That's what. Yeah, that was what he did. He put a button on it by like, "Hey, I got."
But you learn a lot about your when you're traveling with somebody.
Oh, I mean,
like
yeah, we know
I mean,
each
we've
other's
traveled
quirks,
so
like,
much
yeah.
that I know, like, we when for the most part, like when we're not really staying in the same hotel that often anymore, because we've been lucky enough to get either like separate rooms or we're like it's just 2 of us. But at that point, there was like 4 people in one hotel room. I mean,
I was on a cot next to Johnny Scortis, who snores, and he's on a couch.
Oh, that's a tough one.
So like
a
that's
toughie.
another one where I was like, I gotta sleep. Like,
So how many hours do you get? Let's talk about
I do
sleep.
8.
You do 8?
I do at least
You
8.
Get,
Well,
you
I
get 8 in.
go. Here's the thing: is that I go to bed probably between 11 and 12 now. Every
Really?
night. I do my spots and I go home. I don't hang out because I like to wake up early. So I try to get to bed I try to be in bed by about 11ish, but or at least be asleep by midnight. Get up at 7.
You're up at 7.
Up at 7. I'm at the dog park by 7:30.
You got to take the dog out.
I take the dog because there's a good group of people at Lake Hollywood, so I like getting there early. Let the dog run. We come home. I feed her, and then I meditate for 22 minutes, and then I start my day.
22. I was born on May 22nd. Connection. Yes.
Connection.
So you do that every day.
Every single day.
And that helps with anxiety. gets you
Meditation.
going.
Meditation has changed my life. I mean, I don't know if because you guys have mentioned it. It's like I've become a much more positive person.
Yeah.
Since I started like working on myself. I started like reading like about mindfulness, and I started reading a lot of self-help books, but mostly I started going to like a spiritual guide who taught me about transcendental meditation, and then that just changed everything.
And you're wearing the Howard Stern shirt that he's into transcendental medication.
Is he? I mean, I
Meditation.
think
Help
that.
with
Well,
this back.
I mean, I know Seinfeld's into it. I know the Sklar brothers. I've talked to them about it.
Just
I mean,
one of them.
Well, no, Jay and Randy are both. They just
do it together,
They
holding
did the
hands?
500, and yeah, they hold hands. Well, they kind of like symbiotically like link up and and they just
What is meditation? I don't know. When you're those 22 minutes.
Well, I do 22 minutes because I used to do 20, and then Randy actually said he does 22. So I was like, all right, I'll try that number. And it's just what meditation is for me is basically I sit back and I have my mantra, and I sit upright and I close my eyes. I have my music. I have a very ambient music playing, and I just think. But when the thoughts come in, that because I'm just trying to keep my head clear, I use my mantra just to keep those thoughts out. And if something does pass in, I identify it, and I'm able to like separate myself from it going, oh, I don't know why I'm thinking this right now, because I like that person. That person's not trying to destroy me. And then it just floats away. And what it does is in the outside world. So when I run into these situations that I sit here and worry about, the weight of them is a lot lighter. So I'm able to like process it and realize that where my mind is creating stuff and not what I actually believe. It's just that, your ego and your mind are not you. You know what I mean? So your ego is like Siri just telling you stuff. So it's a way of like ripping these weeds out and just to keep your consciousness clear. That's how I've been doing it.
You meditate, Jeremiah? Yeah, we have Eric. Yes, Eric?
We're down to our last 15 minutes.
Okay.
This has just flown by.
It was great.
This actually was a lot of fun.
It was great. It was amazing.
We're still going.
But one
By
of the
the way.
things I could tell you to do, Brode, is if like what I do is I practice my meditation throughout the day through separate mantras. So
Positive push,
positive push.
enjoy it.
So what I do is when I get around certain
Push and
people,
believe.
there's a lot of people that I get around, these comedians and people of influence that I for so long wanted to be their friend and wanted them to like me instead of just liking them. Or when I get around them, I'm not myself. I become unconfident. So
Gotta be yourself.
So I have these little things that I say to myself in those situations. Just it could be just I love you, I love you, I love you. It's just these positive things instead of freaking out about what my ego is creating or what my mind is creating.
See, I for me, that's why I went to Arizona State University to play baseball, because I knew that we had the top coaches. We had major league teams helping us out also. So even back, this is 1988, when I went out to Arizona State, there were like 12, 15, there's like 15 Major League Baseball teams. I wanted to totally submerge myself into baseball. And when we went there, we learned about, our coach was a psychologist, so I learned about the psychology of coaching, and then they would teach us meditation. We would like close our eyes and be quiet. I couldn't do that. I couldn't meditate. My mind was too active. But I learned about positive affirmations. I learned about not bringing up negative thoughts, negative words. You couldn't be negative. You had to be a supportive teammate. Like every player, the pitchers, we would have to like, come on, we had fun like pushing our teammates. And we would have fun with it and like try to be creative without being negative. And yes?
I did have one question from the fan.
I'm in the middle of a freaking thought, Eric. Go ahead.
To get it in before.
Go ahead. Can you get on the mic and say it? Why don't you just come up on the mic
get
for
up
a
here,
minute?
dude.
Yeah.
Eric Aligny, everybody. Did a great job yesterday at Funny You Should Ask. What are you saying now?
Okay, so somebody wanted to know if did you and Jeremiah realize that you both played milkmen recently? And I thought it was a good question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they said #chills.
Okay, yes.
Thank you, Hermosa Beach Mary, for the question.
Somebody tagged me actually because I did a milkman character for Kill Tony recently that I had brought back from a couple years before whenever I introduced that character in an episode of Roast Battle.
Enjoy.
Yeah,
I was playing a Amazon delivery guy. This is for Network. It's an app where they sell hip new items.
Yeah.
Like DJ Khaled and the guys from Workaholics. Anyway, so I played an Amazon delivery guy. And then the next week they were promoting cereal. They had a cereal, collector's item cereal with the Martian guy and Swaggy P, who just got signed by the Denver Nuggets.
Why would they sign him? I don't like him.
You don't like
He
him?
was a wizard. I feel like he's not a team player.
Well, he was great on the sketch that day. And I was delivering.
I didn't mean to be negative.
That's
I shouldn't
okay.
have been negative.
It's okay. And I was delivering milk. They said, why don't you be the milk guy? So they put me in the milk character. And then the next week, I did the milk guy again. And then somebody did send me the photo. Oh, Jeremiah is the milk guy. Or they did Jeremiah, check this out. So I had no idea. I didn't realize
I had
that
no
you did
idea
it.
either. And then we got tagged in each other's stuff.
Don't you feel like you guys should be a milkman around each other together?
I mean, now I feel like we should be a couple of milkmen. We should do a sketch, bro.
Yeah.
There you go, the milkman.
Yeah, the
I can
milkman.
see that happening.
Absolutely.
But let me get back to this meditation thing. I couldn't meditate. I just my mind, my mind, it's too active. It was, and it probably still is. But I put it in the being positive, and they kept me around the team. I saw like them try to like weed out players every year. Let's make an example out of this guy just to keep everybody on their toes. Like bring in a high recruited guy, but cut him. And like, ooh, that guy can get cut. Anybody can get cut.
Sure.
And I saw them. They try to do that with me, and I go, I'm a good guy. I grew up in the Valley, and I just took my lumps there. I mean, going down to the JV, not traveling, all that stuff. But I ended up staying on the team. So for me, that and part of that was being positive, visualizing. And then the next year, I took that positive energy added in some humor also, and it made me train better. It made me throw better. It just gave me more confidence, putting out that energy. It's fun. And then we were winning, and then I was done playing, and then they kept me on as a coach. So they're giving me all of these opportunities I didn't ask for, and I started thinking it's from being positive. It's from like, you know what? People do like having you around.
Yeah.
So that's where I started being positive, because it helped out with my baseball. And then this mean coach who's like a bear kept me around. And so I knew that I had something with that. Same thing in high school. I coached as a high schooler. I coached high school football. I was on the staff. They kept me around. Like, I didn't play football, but the coaches, they coached the baseball team also. And
What'd you do with the football team? Like receivers, running backs?
Hit points. I just like kept charts, like who made the interceptions, who did the tackles. I didn't do much during practice other than just like hang out during stretch, but I was on, every game. I was on the sideline. This is my senior year in high school. I was on the sideline keeping hit points, and I saw how the football team interacted and team prayer, all that stuff. And then same thing at Arizona State. I learned all about the team. And then when I started doing comedy. Did comedy for 6 years. I wasn't like the positive energy guy. It was just me. But when I got back into warm up, that's when I started applying the positivity, the visualization, feeling good. And I was able to do it, luckily, at Best Damn Sports Show. So I had every high school football team, every baseball, basketball team, inner city kid, Latino, Asian. So you really learned about, I had a group every day to work with on, just energies, and it helped the show. Like, yeah, when there was negative energy, the lights would go out, or they'd read the teleprompter wrong. But when that energy was positive, it's just going boom, and more things would happen. And I did that, and then just hanging out with the baseball teams, I got to see it. Like Joe Torre let me hang out with the Yankees. My friend was a coach of the Yankees. They liked having me around. I get invited to the dinners. Same thing with the Dodgers. Same thing with the Cubs. So I just try to share that. I don't tell people what to do. I'm just saying like what I did, and it does work,
Yeah.
and people, and same thing with the Comedy Store. I feel the energy I bring to the Comedy Store helps. And I feel like also you look at Don Barris. Don brings a lot of energy. And then where's Don? He's at Kimmel every day, 16 years or whatever. So there's something about the Comedy Store that brings us all together. Look at all those great shows. You got, Tony's show. You have Roast Battle. You've got the Jam. All those things. It's because that energy. And Joe Rogan with, he's into all that stuff. So I just try to point people in those directions. You look at that, the Comedy Store. You look at even the baseball teams being around. Baseball's very mental. It's all dealing with, disappointment.
What I think when you mentioned some of the shows like Kill Tony, the goddamn Comedy Jam, and Roast Battle, it's there is a love, and especially like I'll even say like when it comes to, because the Jam has just become so positive now, whereas like we used to like shit on people in the audience. It's calmed down, and now it's just about everybody being there and being present. And I think something like Kill Tony, it's like, even though those guys, these great comics, are like judging the performers, there always is a silver lining to it where it's like, this was good and this was great, and work on that, and about building your craft, and it's about having fun. And Roast Battle, it's about people shitting on each other, but ultimately that's not what it's about. It's just collectively that positive energy that's inside the room that just breeds, I think, the excitement, and I think that's why people latch on to things like that.
And humor.
I don't mind that negativity either with that, if you're being funny. Like if you're being funny with that negative. Like,
but it's also it's not even negative. It's like there's a love behind a lot of the people that battle are friends,
You have to spend a lot of time thinking about that person who, you wrote those jokes about. So it's one of those things where it's like, that's why they end every battle in a hug. It ends on a positive note.
Yeah.
Like overall,
It's just, I think it's a simple, I don't know why more people don't do it, but being positive, and it's not that hard. It's not complicated, is what I'm saying, to be positive.
Yeah.
And you do see results. And like I said, why do I get to hang out with the successful baseball teams? Because they
want you around.
They
because
like
you're a positive person.
So if you've got that, it opens doors for things to help people. I like to lift people up, and
you're like the little Indian guy from the Red Sox. You're like a good person to have around to win championships.
I know what you're talking about, the little guy, but not many people are going to understand. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I know a girl who's into transcendental meditation. She's on the corner of Santa Monica and La Brea at the Yum Yum Donuts. You got it. Yes, transcendental.
You got it.
He's a dentist with a chick with a dick.
But yeah, even like today with it being so much negativity out there, we got to do it. We owe it to people.
You have to. You have to. It's like life is too short. I started realizing that, man. I was miserable for the first 36 years of my life, and if I'm lucky enough to live another 36 years, I don't want them to be miserable.
No,
I want to be able to enjoy this ride.
When you're when you're positive.
Hello?
There-
Yeah. Oh, it's positivity. Calling in.
What do they have to say?
Keep going. Push. Believe.
Push and believe.
Yes.
Iodine.
So, iodine. And I know I'm not saying we're beating a dead horse, but
Blue. Algae. You got it.
it will just open doors and create memories, and
Also-
also humor matters. Being positive is
Absolutely.
great, but humor matters. See, if you were to ask me, I'm going to put this out in the universe. I wouldn't mind working with a baseball team with like a positive, a morale guy. I'm a morale coach. I'm an energy guy. You could talk to me. I've had, I've had my issues. I've come out on the good side. So I just think there's all that there.
I feel like getting rid of those people too, like getting rid of the people that are super negative.
Gotta cut 'em out.
You gotta cut them out.
Gotta cut 'em
But
out.
let them know. Do them a favor when you do is let them know, hey, you're too negative. I can't be around you. And then cut them out. Like let them know so that maybe they can change. Maybe they can see
it's
it.
like what I told Eric 2 weeks ago. Cut it out.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. All right, listen.
Do we have time for a baseball card game?
We could.
Yep.
What do you think about?
Emma gave up the thumbs up over there.
I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think it's been a good podcast?
It's been
I think
amazing.
it's been so much fun.
This is one of my favorites so far. You guys
What are they saying in
kept
the?
rolling. It wasn't filled with comments today. We had good comments from everybody. Mary asked a good question. You had somebody in here say they helped you get into ASU. I would have to scroll quite a bit to get there.
It's like we have this baseball card game, but I don't even know if it would be, we've had such
you had fun with the sound effects theater. You can do whatever you like. Just one of the games to close out the show would be fun. Baseball card game is always fun. I don't know how much Josh and
I don't think Jeremiah really knows all that much of baseball.
I do not.
Okay.
he knows Kansas City
You have
Royals.
any Bo Jackson cards
go,
in there,
nailed it.
huh?
I'm looking
You have
right
any
now.
George Brett
That's
cards?
what I was gonna say. I couldn't think of him. Who's the other
Do you
guy?
have any Jeff Montgomery cards in there? Getting a little more obscure. Do you?
Okay, I've got a card right now.
Okay.
Go ahead and guess.
For some reason, I'm thinking this team that the guy plays on is in the West Coast.
Yes.
Fuck. Let's go with Mariners.
Are you? Wait.
Am I right?
Yeah.
I
mean,
know
did you
I
see
don't
the
know-
card that I
no,
picked?
but I don't
You did
know
not
the-
see the
No,
card.
I have no idea.
Josh knows
But here-
random baseball knowledge.
That was crazy energy.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about the baseball card game, and I don't know if we'll be able to get into it completely. A lot of it is me holding the card, thinking the card. See, Eric, you can't. This has to be organic. It has to be organic.
I can't believe I just got the team
That was-
right. I was
nobody's
fucking
ever done
kidding.
You got the team right.
Nobody's ever done that.
I was kidding. I mean, I was just like, I was just going.
What do you mean nobody's got that?
Nobody's ever done on the first try where they've done that much. They knew that much about the card right away.
You're probably right.
I mean,
I
would
think it's
say-
all this positive.
I would say it's
Okay,
the
so
organic
yes.
energy.
What team did you say?
I said the
Mariners?
Seattle Mariners.
He's on the Mariners. Would you like to guess?
Of who it is?
Yeah.
Is this a player from what year? From 1991?
Yeah, this is from.
I mean, there's no fucking way I don't even know who plays. I mean, it's not Ken Griffey Jr.
It's not Ken Griffey Jr.
Good guess though.
Good guess though. Jeremiah does not.
Fran
know.
Tarkenton.
He
played football. I know.
He played football.
Giroux
Does
Tillman.
his first name start with a D?
There's a hard D in the name.
Okay, that's what I was sensing.
That's a hard D in the name. Would you like to guess?
Derek Cloverd.
Willard?
This guy.
Willard.
Willard.
This guy
Willard
is Latin.
Fredrickson. Oh, okay.
Felipe Esparza.
Felipe is outside right now. He was on the podcast earlier. See, it's hard to do if they don't know, Eric. It has to be organic.
But it's still fun.
For who?
I mean, to watch him guess that off the
I
first,
mean-
that was pretty awesome.
I mean, I went with
already
my
won.
feeling. I went with a feeling.
I'm going to tell you who it is.
Tell me.
To take the positive, he already.
Do you want to guess, Eric, since you know baseball?
I would guess Harold Reynolds.
Say that name again.
Harold Reynolds.
Harold
Reynolds.
Reynolds. All right, do you have any Reynolds rap?
Scuba.
It's not
Scuba?
Harold Reynolds. But this guy is a known player, and he's up possibly for Hall of Fame votes.
Ronaldo.
That's soccer.
Okay.
See, it's hard when they don't know.
I don't know.
But you're laughing, Eric.
I mean,
You want me to tell you who it is?
please.
It's Edgar Martinez.
Oh,
Tampa,
Mariners.
Florida.
There it is.
Pristine condition.
What a
Oh no,
great
it's Tino.
card.
Tino's from Tampa.
See, the baseball card game is like this was like you guys are great talking, and I feel we had some good moments here. I was happy with it. Baseball card game, we're still working that out. That's the
The
thing.
next card you will pull out is a Cincinnati Reds card.
Let's see. Here we go. I'm randomly
go.
sticking it in.
That wouldn't say it that way.
The card I pulled out is not.
It's,
but
it's the Toronto Blue Jays.
But I'll tell you what, this guy was a
It's the
teammate.
Athletics.
This guy was a teammate with Edgar Martinez.
Okay.
Not on this particular card.
the Oakland Athletics.
Nope. I'm going to tell you who.
Who?
Paul Sorrento.
Oh, good old Polly Sore.
He was also on the Mariners at one point. I remember seeing him. up
Let
there.
me try one for you.
Why don't you pick one for me? But some of these guys are no-name guys.
All right. Well, I mean, you didn't pick out two.
These are known
It's not
guys.
Cal Ripken, dude.
Edgar Martinez won the batting title
Right.
3 years. I think 2 or 3.
There's no way.
You should be able
I can
to
see the back of that.
Yeah, dude. There's like a whole.
Did you not see the back of it?
I
Did
didn't
you see
the back
anything?
of it. I did not see anything. I was just guessing.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
we go.
Oh, I got one. This is a player you should know.
Okay.
What do I give you now? Do I give you like a hint?
The player, it's 1991 player I should know. Jim Abbott.
No, but I think you're close to the team that he was on.
What's he in?
Jim Abbott was on what team?
Mostly the Angels and Yankees.
This guy was on the Angels, and his name
Was he a pitcher?
doesn't say. Wait, hold on.
What's the first? What are his initials?
Oh, if I give this away, you're gonna know it.
The initials?
WJ.
W.
Also, his last name.
Wally Joyner.
Yep, you
You
got,
got it. And I think that's the button because we're talking about joy here, people.
Joy,
Yeah.
positivity,
Positivity.
happy, push, full circle, blue algae.
And you just pulled that out randomly.
Just pulled that
Cincinnati
out
Reds.
randomly. Well, I did kind of search through until I found one that I liked.
Wally Joyner, Wally World. Yes,
Yes.
it was big in 1986 here
Joyner
in
it.
Southern California. You know, I am happy with the podcast. I think that you guys had a good time.
I had a blast.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, I didn't waste time.
No, never.
You were
Not
awesome.
at all,
Everything,
dude.
I was
everything
hanging with
great
you, man.
today.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
We had a great time. I had a
I
great
I mean,
time.
you
dude.
enjoyed it, right, Eric? But you think,
Which
and I'm
means-
not.
They enjoyed
they
it.
enjoyed
it. Does?
Listen, I enjoyed it.
All right.
You enjoyed it. Jeremiah
I
enjoyed
did.
it. Eric enjoyed it. That's all that
I enjoyed
matters.
it.
As long as we're having fun doing what we love, then we win.
So we talked about meditation. We
Meditation.
talked about food. We talked about sleeping in Montreal. We talked about
Crazy
audience
stage
warm up,
encounters.
crazy stage encounters. We talked
Scuba
about
diving.
scuba diving. We did
Yeah,
a little
coupons.
baseball card
Some
game.
sandwich talk.
Sandwich talk. So we covered a lot of stuff.
A lot of bases.
oh,
a lot
my
of
God.
bases.
Connection. Yes. 3 bases and a home plate. Hello? I had fun. I want to say thank you to Emma. Thank you to All Things Comedy. This is a process. This is new for me having the guests. I'm still like, this is like maybe our 6th or 7th show having 2 guests.
Well,
So,
thank you for including
Yeah,
us.
this was great.
I mean, it's a lot, and I'm juggling and I'm figuring it
You're
out.
doing a fantastic job.
And you guys put me at ease.
Good.
Thank you. So no nerves. I appreciate that. Jeremiah Watkins, great guy, Kansas. Josh Adam Myers, great guy. Maryland. Eric Aligny had a showcase spot for Adam at the Comedy Store the other night on Monday. You did pretty good. How'd you feel about it?
I felt pretty good. I shook my hand afterwards, which made me feel good about it. It doesn't mean anything, but I felt good.
Means everything, dude.
I saw him shake your
everything.
hand.
It's great.
No, that's important.
That's important,
Okay.
man. That's
Hey,
all.
man,
okay.
That's all part of the journey.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
it's-
I'm trying to be patient and just trying to know that I'm growing, and the things
Just-
like you told me the other night,
Hey, man.
let me tell you something. This is the key to all of this. All the rewards are nice, but just enjoy the process, because that's what you'll always have. Because it's always, Christmas is only one day, but you got 364 more days until you get the present. So
Hanukkah's
just
8
enjoy.
days.
That's true, yes, but you get 8 presents. What I'm saying is, just enjoy just the work, and then all the gifts that come from it. It's just like, oh, that's just a little sweetener, but just enjoy the work. The work's where it's at.
Yeah, and these last 3 days have been sweet.
Fuck yeah, man.
Russell Peters on Funny You Should Ask yesterday, and he's going to be a future guest on the show also. Yeah, and then getting to do this with Brody and get to see you guys here, and you had a great podcast today. It's just
Thank you, brother.
It's all rewards.
All rewards.
Didn't you have a podcast that you wanted
I
to
do.
promote
Can I
on
promote?
here?
Well,
Yeah.
me and Jeremiah and we both have a podcast, but I'll do mine. I have a show called The 500 with Josh Adam Myers, where I go through Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums. It's a record book club using the greatest recorded music in the history of mankind. A guest comes on. They have a week with the record, and then we sit down and we talk about it. And we break it down, the song meanings, the facts behind the album. I've never been more excited about anything that I've ever done. I'm having so much fun doing it, and you can find it on all formats.
Enjoy that. Jeremiah, we can see you where? Hear you?
Jeremiah Wonders. Brody was a former guest. We do a lot of call-ins, a lot of character work, a lot of storytelling. It's a great time. Josh Adam Myers has also been a former
So
guest
much fun.
on the show. I have a new music video that just dropped today with my boy Patty Reagan, our newest Reagan and Watkins music video, featuring the one, the only Pauly
Pauly
Shore.
Shore.
It's great, by the way, dude. I love the
Lucas
video.
Hurl.
I watched
Thank
it.
you,
It's
man.
so good.
It's fun.
It's really fun.
Thank you.
It's
Very
on
sexual.
Instagram. Very
Very
sexual.
sexual.
Very sexual.
A lot of fake sex acts.
Yes, there was.
But it's wholesome.
it is.
There's also
I
baseball,
don't know if I-
right? There's baseball.
Yeah,
in
there's
there.
baseball.
There's
I
some
saw
catch.
they playing catch.
Yes,
What are the
another
odds?
connection.
There's also acting out BJs. In it. There's
There
a
is.
lot of with hand on the head too, which is like the most offensive thing. But it's fantastic. It's so good, dude.
Playing catch with Pauly Shore. I saw that.
Yep.
Pauly
So,
Shore
now
played
I
Little
played
League.
catch with Pauly. I played catch with Brody Stevens.
You got it.
And I played catch with Jake the Snake Roberts.
What about your dad?
Starting to check it. A long time ago.
Okay, good.
A long
I was making
time
sure
ago.
that wasn't a thing.
But as like an
His
adult
dad has
man.
no arms. Okay, why would you bring that up?
But yeah, I'm on social media at Jeremiah Stand Up across the board, and on a bunch of live shows around the town, like Keltoni and Roast Battle and the Comedy Jam and Stand Up on the Spot.
These
all that
guys
good
are
stuff.
everywhere. Aligny, Eric, where can we see you?
I'll be on the underwear show at the Dojo of Comedy this Thursday. It's pretty weird, but whatever.
Who's sponsoring that? Victor's Secret?
Isabel Herman's the
You got
producer,
it.
and I'll also be at the Comedy Store for Crack 'em Up Thursday at 10 o'clock on Thursday. And then
He's the state mandated one white guy.
yeah, I'm the light-skinned brother. And then January 10th, I'll be opening for Russell Peters at Oxnard Levity.
Oh, that's
congrats.
great.
Oh, I was
man.
up for that gig.
Well, I'm sorry to say I got it.
That made me laugh. So he's the state mandated white guy.
Well, Emma, thank you.
Thanks,
All
Emma.
Things Comedy, thank you. Jeremiah, Josh, Eric, Stephen Brody Stevens. This is the Festival of Friendship, and we will see you next time. You got it. Push and believe.